The reality of not being available certainly extends to some place you don't want to be. And in some cases, that place is usually home. Sure, that reality is not that difficult to navigate, but in these cases, three different women had a poignant variation. Now, let's go to what we were coming for.
So I got a new car yesterday. Brand new 2026 Hyundai Palisade. I love it. It's gorgeous. It's white. It's everything I've wanted in a car. Now, part of my divorce decree, the loan of my old car was in my ex-husband's name. So I have had 60 days to either get the loan in my name or sell the car. And so I said, you know what? Out with the old, in with the new. I'm refreshing my life. Why not refresh my car? So I did that. Told my ex, or texted him when I was at the dealership. I said, hey, if I needed you to sign some paperwork to sell my car, can I swing by, whatever. He's busy. That's fine. He had our son, whatever. I'll drive by later this week. It's fine. Got the car, got home, told him, I was like, hey, got the car sold, all good. I'll bring the paperwork by later this week. I'll be in the area, whatever day. And he was like, great, awesome, grand. And then I had my work holiday party last night. And he knew I had my work holiday party last night. And he felt the need to text me saying, essentially, it was an irresponsible purchase and how I'm trying to like have a showy car. First of all, he assumed it was a $60,000 car, which it is nowhere near that. Which, I mean, if you think I can afford that, awesome. And then proceeded to say, oh, I'm glad you're spending my money wisely. Mind you, I have not received any of the money that I'm owed in our divorce settlement. I'm not spending any of the money that I'm owed right now. So relax. And then, so I just said, you know what? I said, are you good? This seems strange. And then he proceeded to say how I'm spending money, and I said, are you just trying to start a fight right now because you know that I'm out of my holiday work party? Because this seems unnecessary. And then he didn't say anything. Again, being able to call out this shit and then having just no response is so frustrating, but also it's so validating to be like, oh yeah, no, I've been right this whole fucking time.
Sure, the story seems to be related to a car, but a car is only the superficial ailment. For a moment, think that this idea is the entirety of the fall-down divorce. She is under a temporary spell and cannot leave its duress until she opens her eyes wider than ever before. This is not her fault. You can clearly see the burden which has been placed on her. The money is just a small element which is part of the divorce, and it is used to bring everything together. She will go through the car just like every other expense. The issues will surface one at a time, but unfortunately, one at a time is how she'll choose to see them. If she ever sees the actual events in their entirety, the doors will open and the separation will be superfluous. In the field of diversity, taking an arbitrary role happens to most couples. Having and using the solution is just like not using it at all. But like always, her time for the end of this chapter is very close. She'll be able to buy anything she wants.
controversial topic, but best thing I ever did for my children was divorce their father. I know that sounds crazy, but I was married to a pilot. We were married for 14 years together, total way too long. Anyways, literally, sounds absolutely crazy, diabolical. Like, how does this shit make sense? My ex, so he did not love me. I was a convenience to his life, and he used me to build his career. Okay, I was 1000% used. I've gotten past that through therapy. Like, I just laugh about it now. The moment though, so this is how you know what's unconditional love and conditional love. I was conditionally loved. As long as I made his life convenient, it made sense to keep me around. So when I removed myself from his life and he had to make a change in order to see his children, I begged and begged and begged and begged and begged for years for him to come home. You know, he flew for the Air Force, which he still does. He's a lieutenant colonel, and he flies for FedEx. And he right now is on like a 5-year leave from FedEx. And so it's December. So normally he'd be flying like crazy right now. But last year I divorced him. And the best thing I did for my kids was divorce him because he's been home for a whole year now. See, this is where it's conditional versus unconditional. He loves his children unconditionally because he was willing to finally change his job and come home and be a part of their lives. He only loved me conditionally because when I begged, I was not worth coming home to, which is fine. Because now, like, my kid has the flu and he's been with me all week. We do week on, week off. And he still wanted to pick up our son. So he got him from my house after he picked our oldest up from son. And by the way, my oldest now lives with him full time. Love that. He's 13. And by the way, because I raise these kids by myself. So this is like a break. This is the most help I have ever gotten with my kids because I've never lived near family. I still don't. Like, because we were military. Well, he was military and I was married to him for 14 years. So I moved around everywhere to be with him. And I'm in a place I don't want to be. And I'm stuck here for a few more years. Like, he not only did he come and pick Weston up the normal time to finish taking care of him with the flu, he is able to take off work tomorrow. That motherfucker ain't never taken off work. Anyways, that's how you know if you're conditional love or unconditional love. So I'm thankful that he loves his children. He ain't gotta love me because I don't love him. But isn't that crazy? I waited 16 years for that asshole to come home. Don't waste your time, ladies. So kudos to me though, because now I was able to clean my house and I've got a full week and prayers I don't get the flu. I probably am. I 1000% am going to get the flu. I'm probably going to go down in the next 24 to 48 hours. So that sucks. But I'll be by myself and I won't get anybody else sick, which is nice. Life is crazy. Life is crazy.
At what point did she know that she was an unconditional person? Was the blatant question so obvious? Perhaps she thought she was always of that manner. No, she was not always that way. Having children gave her that idea. She was able to tell that the kids were conditional. But when did she know that she had this awful characteristic? It started with the phrase, "I do." Her marriage took her through many wonderful episodes, but in a tiny little small memory, she always carried that word. We all go through parts that do and don't matter. That is what married life is. It is unfortunate that it took her 14 years to figure out this small discrepancy. But in order to teach her this valuable lesson, it was supposed to last this long.
Social media star Christy Sarah is divorcing her husband of over 10 years because of infidelity. He cheated. I'm going to make a guess here as to why. Okay, and I don't know any details. I don't know any deep details about their marriage, obviously. But just looking from the surface, she's the megastar, okay? He has always been slightly insecure of the fact that she's the star of the show, star of the household. He's never probably really felt like the man. And all's great when you're making tons of money, they have two beautiful kids together, and, life's good. But over time, those emotions, those negative emotions add up. I mean, we've all suppressed a feeling or emotion for a long time. Even suppressing an emotion for a year gets tough. Imagine 15 years of this. And what do people who feel this way tend to do? Well, they tend to look outside of their relationship for validation. And then, it seems like he was kind of caught between two options. One, I'm obviously not happy in this dynamic, in this marriage anymore, although I love my kids or whatever. And do I walk away from this marriage and break up this business? Or do I cheat and hope I don't get caught? And, you kind of know how that always plays out. And I feel like that's more or less the kind of situation that went on here. This is a dynamic that you need to look out for, okay? Very successful, confident woman, man who's not quite at that same level. I'm speculating a lot here with the two of them, but I think there's some truth to it.
As it happens, there are two in the business of marriage. Don't lose control of what could be coming. Unforgiven activities almost always end up in sad clarity. As for this female, she had to learn things the hard way. It is part of life, but she knows that good things come tightly wound by its partner, the bad things. Now she's had a taste of both and should never trust like that again. As for the gentleman, life can get draining and require you to do the best job that you can do. Unfortunately, this will teach you the lesson that you have been avoiding. That if you haven't learned it yet, you now understand the chance for you to do the right thing in the future. There has been plenty of times which we have spent together on this platform. There has been many pieces of life, some short and some long. But every fragment that it has touched has and will remain as a construct of history, simply to show you that we're living here now. We want to thank you again for coming. We hope we see you again.